The moment they were born, a silent understanding passed between them, a connection so deep it transcended words. Jane and Joy, identical twin sisters, entered the world together, their hearts beating as one. They were like two peas in a pod, connected by an invisible thread that only they could see. As they grew, their bonds became so strong that they could finish each other's sentences, and their friends often joked that they were one person in two bodies. They shared every secret, dream, and fear with each other. On the eve of their 16th birthday, a whispered promise was made. A promise that would change everything. A promise that would test the limits of their love, their loyalty, and their trust. The promise was simple yet profound. I will always be here for you, no matter what. This promise strengthened their bond. They were always together, like two halves of the same whole. As they grew older, their distinct personalities emerged. Jane, the introvert, was cautious and reserved, with a dry sense of humor that only Joy could understand. She was the voice of reason, always advising Joy to think before she acted. Joy, on the other hand, was vibrant and free-spirited, with a contagious laugh that could light up a room. She was the life of the party, always dragging Jane to the most unlikely places. One fateful day, Jane confided in Joy about her crush on George, a charming, handsome young man with a smile that could melt the coldest of hearts. Joy, always protective of her sister, decided to investigate George's character, but unexpectedly found herself falling deeply in love with him. She was torn between her loyalty to Jane and her own feelings, but her curiosity got the better of her. She began dating George secretly, sneaking around like a teenager and lying to Jane about her whereabouts. Meanwhile, Jane mustered her courage to express her feelings to George, only to discover that he was already in a relationship with her sister, Joy. This revelation sparked a fierce argument between the twins, with Jane accusing Joy of betrayal and Joy accusing Jane of being too uptight. For the first time, their relationship was put to test. Heartbroken and feeling betrayed, Jane sought solace in Andrew, a longtime admirer who had always been there for her. He was the opposite of George, kind, gentle, and genuine. As they spent more time together, Jane found herself falling in love with Andrew's freaky sense of humor and his impressive collections of dad jokes. As the days went by, Jane and Andrew's relationship blossomed. They were the picture of happiness, and their friends couldn't help but notice the change in Jane. She was no longer the reserved, heartbroken girl she once was. Andrew has brought out the best in her, and she was grateful. They began making plans for a future together, and soon their wedding day was set. Joy, still grappling with the guilt of her actions and failed promise, became withdrawn and isolated, unable to face Jane or their friends. She knew she had to make things right, but she didn't know where to start. Joy ended her relationship with George and begged for Jane's forgiveness. George, drunk and heartbroken, got into a fatal accident while driving, leaving him crippled and dependent on others. Joy was devastated, realizing too late that her actions had consequences. She rushed to the hospital, begging for George's forgiveness, but he just lay there, his eyes filled with regrets and pain. Joy was struggling to come to terms with her actions. She had lost George, and her relationship with Jane was still strained. She began to question her judgment. One day, Joy received an unexpected visit from George's mother. The woman was frail and elderly, but her eyes burned with a fierce determination. She told Joy that George was struggling to come to terms with his new disability and that he needed her support. Joy was torn, but she knew she had to make things right. She began visiting George regularly, helping him with his physical therapy and listening to his frustration. As Joy spent more time with George, she realized that she has been wrong about him all along. He wasn't the charming, handsome man she thought he was. He was broken, vulnerable, and in need of help. And she began to see him in a new light. And their relationship evolved into a deep and meaningful friendship. Jane saw the change in Joy and began to soften her stance. She realized that her sister was genuinely sorry for her actions and she was trying to make amends. The twins started talking again, sharing their feelings and slowly rebuilding their relationship. As Jane busied herself with her wedding preparations, Joy tagged along, using the opportunity to sadly seek her sister's forgiveness for past transgressions, all the while reminding Jane of their childhood promise they made to stand by each other's sides as the maid of honor. With every delicate wedding detail they attended to together, Joy hoped to mend their fraying threads of their relationship and reclaim the special bond they once shared, just as they had vowed to do when they were young and innocent. This time, Jane forgave Joy with all her heart. She realized that her sister was genuinely sorry and that she has grown and changed. Jane and Andrew's wedding day arrived. Surrounded by friends and family, they exchanged vows and sealed their love with a kiss. Joy beamed with pride as the maid of honor, her heart filled with happiness. As the twins danced at the reception, they knew that their bond was unbreakable. They had been through the fire and came out stronger. Their relationship tempered by forgiveness, love, and a deep understanding of each other's flaws and imperfection. George, now wheelchair-bound, looks on with a warm smile, his eyes shining with happiness for the sisters he loved, as they finally found closure and new beginnings. Just like Jane and Joy, we can learn to forgive those who have wronged us, cultivate honesty in our interactions, and engage in self-reflection to confront our flaws and weaknesses. What are your thoughts on Joy's behavior and Jane's behavior? Put it down in the comment section. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button below. Thanks for joining us to the end.